Hollywood has been pumping out child stars for decades, but after years in the spotlight, many of these kids are ready for a break from the entertainment industry. Whether it's trying to get away from stalkerish paparazzi or just being uncomfortable with fame, many of these child stars end up turning their backs on their careers, opting instead for a more low-profile existence. If you are new to our channel, don't forget to subscribe and please give this video a big thumbs up. Today we are discussing 10 child stars who hate Hollywood today. Just wait until you see one popular actress who would rather trade her fame for an education. Stay tuned to see who it is. Selena Gomez. It's hard to believe that one of the most famous people on the planet doesn't want to be famous at all. Selena Gomez can't go anywhere without someone following her every move. In fact, in the past, the singer has said that she can't wait until people forget all about her. This isn't because she is ungrateful. She loves her job and what she does, but the fame that comes with being a Hollywood superstar just isn't for her. We started seeing signs of this after she became the most followed person on Instagram. The singer admitted that posting to the social media app began consuming her life. She felt pressured to be authentic, but at the same time, she didn't feel authentic to herself. Selena took matters into her own hands and deleted the app from her phone, and eventually forgot her password. So, if you are wondering why the singer ghosted the app, it's mostly for her own mental well-being. Her assistant posts for her now and then, but it's not a priority for the star. This came right after Selena spent time in rehab dealing with her mental illness. She confessed that she would get severe anxiety before performing, and the pressure was starting to be too much. Considering she is still a worldwide megastar, we are pretty sure her dreams of being forgotten won't come true anytime soon. In the meantime, we hope Selena is finding peace in her time away from her social media. Jonathan Taylor Thomas. If you grew up as a kid in the 90s, there's a good chance you had a major crush on Jonathan Taylor Thomas. From his role as Randy Taylor on Home Improvement to voicing young Simba in Disney's The Lion King, JTT had a promising career ahead of him. Then, seemingly out of nowhere, he completely walked away from Hollywood. For a while, no one had any idea what would make him turn his back on acting, but the star eventually opened up about everything in 2013. Apparently, after leaving Home Improvement in 1998, the child star decided it was time for a break. He had been working hard since he was 8 years old and wanted to have a normal life. Who can blame him? He started traveling more, and then in 2000, the actor was accepted to Harvard University. Then, much to everyone's surprise, he showed back up on the small screen with a guest starring role on Veronica Mars. That was back in 2005, and it was his last credit until he made a surprise appearance on Last Man Standing in 2013. Considering he's still a total dreamboat, we wouldn't mind if he wanted to revive his old acting career. Sadly, we are pretty sure he is happily living his life out of the spotlight and away from the demands of Hollywood. Dustin Diamond. Life after childhood fame can get pretty tough. One star who learned that the hard way is Dustin Diamond. The actor known for his role as Screech on Saved by the Bell had zero success after the ending of the show. Instead, he found himself mocked and tormented for his nerdy character. Instead of embracing his fans, he started acting out. Of course, no matter what level of fame someone has, bad behavior is always going to make headlines. One of those headlines making events including a bar brawl that left the actor with an arrest record. But before all the legal trouble, Dustin was trying everything he could to try to stay relevant. He starred in an adult film. He also appeared on a show called Celebrity Fit Club. But his most controversial move of all was writing a book called Behind the Bell. The tell-all book was released in 2009, and it wasn't welcomed by his fellow Bell castmates. In fact, they have pretty much shunned Dustin from their lives because of the lies that were told. In 2016, the child star revealed he hadn't spoken to some of his castmates in over 20 years. Tensions were so high between them that he wasn't invited to the Saved by the Bell reunion that aired on The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon. All in all, he's probably never going to be able to revive his career, and even though he hasn't completely turned his back on Hollywood, we are pretty sure he'd love to forget about only being known as Screech. Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen. The Olsen twins spent their childhood raking in the dough by being kid actors. They were so big that they even launched their own brand. From movies to dolls, tweens couldn't get enough of these talented sisters. But as they aged, they started to back away from the limelight more and more. And then one day, they were done with acting altogether. Hearts broke all over the world, but we could still get our Olsen fix from following them in the tabloids. But the problem is, Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen hate being famous and hate being in the tabloids. We can't say we blame them. They have been in the spotlight since they were toddlers. That means they have 3 decades of experience running from the paparazzi. The final nail in the fame coffin came when they refused to be on Fuller House, the Full House reboot. It was weird to see the show without Michelle Tanner, the character they collectively played, but no one was surprised. They hadn't worked as actresses in years, out of choice, of course. The women are too busy with their fashion dynasties to care about Hollywood and returning to the small screen spotlight. Sadly, even though they no longer star on our television screens, they are still all over the tabloids, which means they will probably never lead the normal lives they desire. Shia LaBeouf. He started his career as a Disney child star on their hit TV show Even Stevens. Then, to no one's surprise, he slowly began transitioning into a full-fledged adult actor. In fact, he was one of the most sought-after actors in Hollywood for a while. Then, for some reason, things started to take a turn down south for Shia LaBeouf. No one could have predicted this turn, mostly because he seemed to have everything together. One moment that made everyone think Shia was off his rocker was when he was accused of plagiarizing some work in 2014. Instead of a heartfelt apology, the actor decided to turn his back on fame. Shia posted a tweet saying he was retiring from all public life, but of course, that didn't last long. In 2015, he came back more bizarre than ever, but decided he was a performance artist and not a celebrity. The actor claimed that being a celebrity robbed him of his identity and enslaved him as a commodity and didn't allow him to be an actual person. That was only the beginning of the chaotic behavior. Throughout the star's fall from grace, we have seen him arrested, get into fights, and show up to a red carpet event with a bag over his head. He seems to really detest being a part of Hollywood, but sadly, that doesn't keep the paparazzi from stalking his every move. Kristen Stewart. She may have been one of the biggest stars on the planet for a while. Kristen Stewart's spotlight has started to dim a little, which is something that she is totally okay with. The actress has worked in Hollywood since she was 9 years old. That means she has probably seen it all, and one thing she hates is the fact that she is a celebrity. From the time she was a teen, Kristen Stewart was a megastar. That's thanks to her starring role as Bella in the Twilight movies. Because she rose to fame at such a young age, she had a hard time dealing with it. She started making headlines for her awkward and introverted behavior. She has since admitted this was because she wasn't sure how to be famous and still maintain normal relationships. She was basically an awkward teen, but unlike the rest of us, her teen years were in front of the world. The actress revealed that because of fame, she wasn't able to have a fully lived life, which is probably the reason why she has such a distaste for tabloid magazines. She's constantly flipping off paparazzi, and while many stars love to walk the red carpet, Kristen finds it to be a daunting chore. She also hates that women aren't equally respected, in her opinion, as men in Hollywood. While she loves her job, trading blockbuster roles for indie flicks, the stuff that comes with being a famous actress just isn't for her. Jack Gleason. If you aren't a fan of Game of Thrones, then you probably won't know actor Jack Gleason. But those of you who are know Jack Gleason as the bratty king Joffrey Lannister. And if you have made it past the 4th season of the show, then you already know what ends up happening to Joffrey. We will spare the details, but let's just say Jack Gleason retired from acting soon after leaving the show. This may be hard to believe because after a role that huge on a smash hit TV show, you would think his career would be just getting started. But this wasn't from lack of roles being offered. The actor chose to walk away from his promising career in Hollywood. What many people don't know is that Jack started acting when he was only 8 years old. So when he decided to retire at the age of 21, he had a solid career that spanned 13 years. That means over half of his life was spent in front of the camera. But before Game of Thrones, he only worked during the summers or here and there. Then, when acting became his livelihood, it took the fun out of the experience. The star simply no longer enjoyed working in Hollywood, so instead of being unhappy, he chose to retire. Mara Wilson. 90s kids will remember Mara Wilson for her roles in movies such as Miss Doubtfire and Matilda, but it's been years since this talented actress has graced the big screen. What many people didn't know is that Mara and her mother were dealing with her being cast because she was cute. While this may not seem like a problem, over the years it started to have negative side effects. While filming for Miracle on 34th Street, the director kept making changes to amp up the child star's cuteness. This was a problem to her mother, who thought it was taking away from her intelligence. Her daughter was turning into an ornament, and she was worried Mara wasn't being valued as a human. After seeing her mother's reaction after someone called her cute, the star started to hate it herself, which was somewhat of an issue for a girl who made a career of being adorable. Then after filming Matilda, Mara lost her mother to cancer, and things just weren't the same. She was being thrown scripts for roles that were much younger than her age, all because she was cute. She ended up loathing the idea of looking young and adorable. Eventually, she gave up on Hollywood because there was too much focus on her looks and not enough focus on her talent. Macaulay Culkin. Culkin. Another child star that ruled the 90s was Macaulay Culkin. He was so big that he was the first kid actor to net a $1 million payday for a single role. Not bad for someone who wasn't even in middle school yet. Back then, there was a pretty good chance if Macaulay Culkin was in a movie, it was going to be a hit. Somehow, though he was a child, he also had adult fans as well. Even though he had major success, as he grew older, the actor decided life in the spotlight wasn't for him. This may have something to do with his strained relationship with his father. There is a well-reported history of Macaulay's dad being one of the most controlling Hollywood parents ever. Things got so bad that he ended up divorcing his dad when his parents split up. But in the years after being a child star, Macaulay still can't escape the spotlight. That isn't for lack of trying. He rarely does interviews, and he takes strolls in New York City between 2 and 4 a.m. when he knows no one will bug him. It still surprises him that people are still interested in him at all. While he still loves the art of acting and performing, he doesn't really care for the fame. Ariel Winter. Thanks to her role on Modern Family, actress Ariel Winter has become a household name. To be honest, we can't get enough of this ex-child star bombshell. She's body positive, and she has literally blossomed into a beautiful woman right before our eyes. But if she had it her way, she probably would have never gotten into the entertainment industry. Ariel started her impressive career when she was just 4 years old. When she was a child, she was forced to dye her hair black so she would get more roles. She also grew up quick after dealing with rejection after rejection. She has admitted that she loves what she does, but looking back on it, she would have never chosen it for herself. There are also things that come with being famous that the actress detests. The star has dealt with people trolling her for everything, from her style to her body, and she feels it is because she is a woman in the entertainment industry. Ultimately, she isn't sure if she's even going to stick with acting. She has plans to attend the University of California, Los Angeles, with the dream of becoming a lawyer. Considering how fierce she is on Twitter with her clapbacks, we can only imagine how much of a boss she'll be in the courtroom. Did any of these stories surprise you? Tell us what you think in the comment section below. Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe to The Taco.